Hi dear souls, welcome to a new reading. This time this is a collective reading because I am taking a look at why we are tired. Now you may have been tired and get over that state. You may still be in that state right now, or you may have people around you telling you that they are exhausted or tired. Now, I am mainly speaking for those people who are healers, energetic workers, meditative workers, spiritual workers, so-called light workers, and other type of being who desires to help others or who has been implicated in all sorts of actions to help others, like counselor, psychologists, and other types of professions who have been helping people or being around many people, or spiritual guides and empaths and psychic people, and so on. I have seen many having this state of exhaustion in these types of professions all around me and also myself. And through this, I am bringing a little bit of clarity, although we may feel why, and also we may have our own personal motives, but we are kind of connected through a certain process, and I am looking at that process, the common process that we are all going through and which causes this type of exhaustion. Now I am also going to make a pick a card reading, so that process may become more personal for a few energetic groups, and I'm not gonna take a look at the overall energetical process and only at other types of details. So first, I'm going to see and take a look at the main process and see why and how we are tired and exhausted, and then the lesson to learn here and the first step to regain more energy. Now, before I go to the cards, let's just state the obvious. Going through this health crisis, world crisis, has been really hard on all of us. Sitting in that state of fear, anxiety, isolation, separation, all sorts of troubles and ailments, physical ailments, going through loss, physical loss, relationship loss, maybe work loss and other type of losses, going through this constant talk about death and fear and anxiety and pressure and constrictions and all sorts of regulations to adapt, and a lot of change in a really small window of time. Now, if you are sensitive like me, you may have felt the rivers, the waves of panic and fear going through your body before you even find out why. And you may have felt the overwhelm, the constant psychic torture of fear, anxiety on a grand scale. And even if you're not as sensitive to feel all of this collective shift and change in energy and vibration through you, without you having nothing to say, maybe in some moments, even so, you somehow have been affected by all of these things, by all of the changes, by the way relationships and connections with other people have changed. In the past 2 years, I have seen so much change when it comes to relationships. Now, I'm a hermit, so I don't have many friends, but I see this in other people, and I have access to many people to see this. And also hearing this from friends and from all sorts of people from all sorts of countries and times, and I am also very observant, and I can also receive, of course, information about this. And the amount of separation, change, and loss and distrust in families, in countries, in groups of people who don't see eye to eye anymore. The change is drastical. The change is like night and day. And this change has just arrived upon us abruptly, like a bomb exploding everything into our faces, pushing every single button that was there, every wound, every pain, amplified to the maximum until it breaks. And all of those connections who were not really established on a good foundation have received so much pressure that they couldn't possibly withstand. So they've broken. And so we have many, many people who have gone through this change in their relationships. And because you may have been working with people, if you were in those areas and domains I have mentioned in the beginning, you have seen and felt all of that in another way, in this desire to help, to relieve pain, to offer love, to give support, and so much more. So you have been requested to come up, to take some kind of position to help, but in a way in which the demand was just overwhelming. The demand of help was incredible. And I am not only speaking the demand of help in the way that someone comes to you and asks. I am also speaking about the demand of energetical help, spiritual help, invisible help. Oof, that demand has been extraordinary. For example, in 2020, when all of this started, even if I knew that something was going to start, I just felt instantly struck in the head like by lightning because of the demand of help, of the desire for love, support, energetically and spiritually, and all of the waves of fear and panic. So it is only natural that now, after this crisis has stabilized more, to come to a place where we start to relax. It's just natural. We come to a breaking point, or we accept the fact that we need to relax at one point, that you cannot help everyone, even if you are willing to, that you are draining yourself, and this is not something that you can do, and something has got to give, something has to change. So even if you are not in these professions, if you are around people a lot, that's about it. You can feel this, and you have this good soul, or this desire to help others. You may have been just sucked off because you desire to help, but the demand of help has been overwhelming, and you've done what you could for as long as you could. And then it comes a moment where you need to relax, and what you have done, the draining, comes to the surface, and you see the consequences. That you need to take care of yourself, that you need to come back and understand that you need help as well. And this relaxation, you can see it in the world as well, in the other people. The waves of fear, as they are not as strong, the waves of panic have kind of stopped. They are still perpetuated, but in another way. And of course, you may have been starting to accommodate. If you are sensitive and you feel these waves, if you're not, you still feel them in another way, or you get influenced in another way, of course. And this time requires for us to see that we need help, that we need to open up and receive energy and heal, to see that we have drained ourselves, and that this constant state of anxiety, psychic torture, panic, desire for help, impossibility to help, seeing loss, seeing death, seeing all kind of stuff, this has contracted our body and drained our energies until this moment where we cannot withstand that contraction anymore. We cannot just stay in that state of high adrenaline. When that state of high adrenaline starts to end, or the adrenaline ends because your body cannot take this state anymore, then you fall into this state of complete exhaustion. So for most people, this adrenal exhaustion is coming from, as a conclusion, as a consequence of this constant pressure of panic and fear and anxiety. Just take a look at yourself in the past and now, and see your baseline, your emotional baseline. I'm sure that your emotional baseline has been higher before 2020. And then maybe it dropped. I'm not sure how much. That will be personal for each of you. And now it needs to come up. It needs to heal, because the amount of pressure has been just too much. It has drained all of the strength, the power of your body. Now, this is a general thing that is affecting all of us in different ways, but we have other things like healing programs or other types of processes that we go through personally. What is generally affecting us it's not just that, okay? For some might be just that, but for others we may go through many other types of processes that go on at the same time, in the same moment, and are actually supported by this, by the general wave of expression, and by this type of process. So this has been what I can see without anything. And now let's just go and see what the cards also tell us. And here we have all of these cards for the main process. And we have cord with initiation. Isn't that beautiful here? This is like an outlet, electrical plug. Yes, that's what I saw immediately, electrical plug-in. It's like we've been disconnected from the source for a while, and we have continued with the energy we had until now, when we just need to connect again to the source. And this is like that time telling you, hey, you need to revive yourself and the connection with your divine self and soul, because otherwise you don't have any source of energy. You've been going on fumes for the last years. You've been going on what you have gained in the past, because all of a sudden something has ruptured inside of you. And the connection, even though you may have been very well connected, has somehow diminished because of exterior circumstances and cycles. So now you've come to a moment when you need to remember this, and you need to remember that you're not guilty of something, that you've not done something wrong, and that's why you got disconnected. Sometimes the exterior circumstances and the collective have a lesson to learn in its entirety. Even if you have partially learned that lesson, you will still go through it with the whole collective. So yes, I have been speaking also from this card as well, the Hierophant, about the collective. And this is the time in which you need to recognize that somehow you've been disconnected. And I feel resistance here, because I know that we've not been like 100% disconnected, but we've been. And I can recognize that in myself, for example. I can be truthful with myself and say that there was a moment where I couldn't even connect with my guidance, my intuition, that everything was black. I can recognize that. And I know that that's not like I've been completely disconnected, but I have in some aspect or percentage. And now it's time that we recognize that percentage of disconnection and realize that we cannot go on like this anymore, because we have exhausted that energy which has been driving us so far. We may have been helping much more than we had the resources to do, and I feel that we've been doing that even unconsciously. And this is something that we're going through together. This is something about the collective and what's going on in the collective. And we're going through an initiation as well, because right now, yes, we've been disconnected in some percentage, but because we've seen how that feels, how that is, now we can connect in a stronger way than before. And that's the initiation here. That's how we are called back to self. But we are called back directly to let go of the world and the collective for a while, because this is training us still to put boundaries, to listen to ourselves and to our bodies, and to also listen to our guidance and those who are there to guide, and the voice of spirits, the guides. Right now, they are also telling us that they can help if we just ask, that they can show us that love and nurture and energy and how to get back that energy. But we are getting wired in another way. And until that time, we get to be in this transition mode, and we may not have any energy left at times because the system is getting drained. It's like you're in a bathtub and you let go of the water. Everything is getting drained and it's getting empty. The filth is going with it, and then you get rewired again. So this is not something to be afraid of or to feel that we've been doing something wrong, or that there is something controlling us, or that there is something draining our energies, and all sorts of negative thinking. Now, I do not exclude that there are entities that can take advantage of your current state, of your drained state. So, taking care of ourselves spiritually, physically, it's really important in this moment. Let's just see the other ones as well. And here we have the night and the balsamic earth moon with negotiation. And I'll just also see these. We have birth here, birth and loss and isolation. Yes. So we see again that this is also a cost of isolation and loss, and the need to deal with that in a really large scale, like for the whole earth is going through this, so somehow we need to deal with it on a large scale. And this we may have never done before at this scale. So it is also a training experience. And the isolation takes a toll on us, the loss. But here we have birth, because we are also in this state where we are needing new information, new energies, new love and care to grow into something new. After all of the loss and all of the isolation. And the night here is telling us about this fierce mother nature, this fierce motherhood, where as a mother you do anything for your children, and this type of desire to help others, to defend the weak, to defend those who couldn't see or know or understand what was happening, to take the sword and go out there and tell your piece. This mother nature has been awakened in the last 2 years, and you've been seeing it. You've been seeing how fiercely people have started to fight for the rights for their children. And I know this has not been enough, but actually it has. It has in some way been enough. It has been the level with which we could do it in a way. It has been exactly what we have been able to do. And it has been enough for a while. And this idea of non-negotiation as well. There are some things with which you cannot negotiate, about which you cannot negotiate. And you cannot negotiate when you know that something is harmful or that something is harming someone. And you have the power to protect or to help in some way. So those of you who have been in this state of the mother energy coming through you, desiring to help without a negotiation, this means that you just gave the amount of help that you could and that you couldn't as well, energetically, physically, psychically, in any way that you could, and you also were in the state of defense of the weak, of the harmed, of the ones who go through losses and isolation and injustice and all of that. And being in that stance has just brought this consequence of tiredness upon you. And the Hierophant here is also telling me that this is because of feeling restricted, of feeling not only personally restricted, like collectively restrictive, persecuted, going through all of these things. Also, the persecuted collective and the persecuted spirits have also awakened. Well, they were there. What I mean to say here is that they have become really active, going and speaking to people and sharing their pain, because now people were open to hear it. So we have seen many stories and history coming back about persecuted groups of people, because we need to hear their stories as well. And collectively, we need to heal that persecution, that discrimination, those injustices, that great pain that we hold as a collective. And that takes a lot of energy. And you might have also been involved in cleaning up that energy through your bodies, through your electrical systems, nervous systems, and also by working with others or taking care of others. And this doesn't mean that you need to do a profession about that, because there are loving people everywhere in all the professions. For example, you could just be a mother or someone who takes care of the children, or of someone, of groups of people that are persecuted or that need help. And all of this has brought us to this state of exhausting our energies, and also the energy that goes through our neural system it's just not enough for us to do our own things. We have stretched it so much. We have tried to be humanitarian or to help people or to go out there and be amongst those who suffer, to take the pain maybe upon us, to have all of these ideas, to fight, to defend, to just handle loss, isolation, handle all of this mental anxiety and panic and fear. And all of this has caused this type of disconnection. And because of this, we are now called back and to plug in again, but to the right source of energy. And to also establish some good boundaries if we don't have any. But even if we had boundaries before, what has happened has broken that boundary and also has stretched, has pulled on it, has pushed it in all kinds of ways. So we need to put new boundaries. So we need to create this space here that is okay for us, that is safe. A safe place to build again, to grow again. And this is where we are right now as a collective. And I'm only speaking about the people who are going through this exhaustion. Okay, let's just go to the other cards as well. Let's see if I can fit them here. And we have here the Sun, Seven of Cups, and the Queen of Pentacles. And we see the process here that we've gone from feeling really well, energetic, being the Sun, having so much energy, to the Queen of Pentacles to take care of ourselves. We are here now, we've been there, and we've been going through this. And this has been this process of desire to help others actively and through giving off energy. And we see the Sun here as giving energy without stop, always being there for people, always having this generous stance, giving energy without stopping. But we as people, we are not like the Sun. We have limits here, and once we go over those limits, we harm ourselves, and we cannot just give and give and give like the Sun. We need to completely connect to the source to be a source like the Sun. If we are not at that state, we cannot just act like the Sun. So we may have tried to be like this, but once we have fallen onto the earth, into this reality, and just saw our limits, we have been pushed back to reconsider our beliefs and to understand where we can help or not. And I see here that we've been also breaking through some illusions about life, about our purpose here, our role here, about what we can do for others, and what things are actually possible for us to do and what things are not. Because we cannot do everything for everyone, and also we cannot fill everyone's cup of needs. Everyone has their own needs, and we cannot just be there and fulfill their needs. We need to help ourselves. We have also tried to be the Queen of Pentacles, which is again the mother, here. This motherly aspect, always being there, helping, always helping, even if you have tried not to. It's just maybe in your nature, in your soul, in your spirits. Your spirit guides may have just been doing that for you because they follow your desires and your nature and your inner desire to just be there like a mother, fiercely helping and defending and being responsible and always resourceful, has just took this toll, this cost, this high cost of energy. But the thing is, this process is not a mistake. This process I have mentioned in the beginning, it is an initiation. We have been somehow partially disconnected, and now we need to find a new way to connect to the source of energy inside of us, to our soul, a new way to be. This is why we have birth in the other cards here. This is what we need to do right now in this time to recuperate our energy. And of course, each of us is doing this in their own ways. Of course, by taking care also of the other processes, the personal things that you are going through. And the Queen of Pentacles here is keen on telling me that as long as you give from what you don't have, you're never going to actually return back something. Because this is a key here. There was a belief that as much as you give, you will receive. But the thing is, if you give from not having, you will receive not having energy. Let me explain this again. You cannot give someone money if you don't have. If you give them money, you will give them by creating a loan, right? So you're actually going to have to pay that loan. I think that is really clear now. You're going to have to pay it back because you have given from not having. And you have perpetuated this not having, this debt. So now we are kind of paying the cost of that. And this is kind of a revelation for me as well. Very interesting. Because this belief is an illusion that you can give and give even if you don't have. And you will receive. No. You will create a debt that you will need to pay yourself. And that's just not helpful at all. Okay. Now, let's go to the last aspects. This is the lesson to learn. Although I feel I have just revealed the lesson to learn, and this is the first step to recover the energy. And we have the lesson 3 of Wands, and the first step, the 5 of Swords. And I actually feel more energy through my body right now, because I have just discovered that thing, that belief that was blocking me. Okay. The 3 of Wands. Now you just witnessed how quickly you can start healing, because me discovering that was an extreme relief for me immediately. And immediately I've started receiving new energy, and I'm feeling a lot better, and I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. Even I'm speaking with ease, with much more ease, and also with well, now I'm getting confused because I don't need to explain this much. So just look at how easy it is. Now, this is not going to be the same for everyone. So if that wasn't the same for you, or if just seeing things doesn't cause inside of you the same reaction as in me, it's okay, you don't have to be the same. Okay, so we have here the Three of Wands as a lesson, because we need to know how to invest our energies, in which and how, and also to adjust our vision for the future, to be more optimistic, to learn how to keep vibration also in the hardest moments of pain and panic and sorrow, to keep our awareness above all of those tears and sorrows. Even if it hurts, it is fine. You don't reject that. You just see from above it, and you start calming that part in you, and you start healing yourself from within with your awareness. And this lesson is also about feeling ready, even if you're not ready. Feeling that you can do some things and knowing which things you can do. And absorbing the kind of information that you need to go on, and letting go of the kind of information you do not need to go on. And feeling at ease with going forward without knowing how it's gonna turn out. Having that trust to go through the dark night of the soul with hope and with light inside of you, instead of looking for the light outside. Also, having that desire to understand and realizing that you do not understand everything, and that you're constantly learning, and that you're constantly investing energy, and to be more careful about how you focus energy, thought, and intention, and what is your intention beneath what you're doing. This is exactly about what I've spoken before. Giving from not having. That not having was the current state, but because we were ignoring it, or the intention was not connected with our reality, then we didn't create what we were desiring to create. Instead, we have created a depth of energy. So here, the source, what lies beneath your actions, and from which state you are making the action to create in your life, is really important. And we are here invited to see and observe more on how we invest intention and energy. And the first step here is to admit our defeat. Yes, to admit that we cannot do everything in all of the ways that we were imagining. To admit where we are out of energy, when we do not have the means to do something, when we have lost, when we cannot win, and stop resisting and going towards those things or on those paths where we will surely lose because we don't have much chance to win. To actually see where and how we invest this energy of ours. Because if we fight the fights that are not worthy, then we lose energy, we create debt as well. And we give energy to those who would fight us to the death, maybe. And sometimes sacrifice is not the way to go as well. Because if you sacrifice yourself for a cause that's not worthy, for a cause that doesn't actually bring something back to you, then it's not going to bring anything. In your sacrifice is just going to be more energy for the other side, or for your enemies, or your confrontational beings, or the situation that you're trying to fix. Yes. That energies, that sacrifice is going to go and support that situation that you don't actually want. So this is also pick your fights. Learn which one is actually worthy of your fight and energy, where you can actually change something, and where and when it's better to withdraw and recover and change your strategy, change the way you think about the situation, change your perspective, and learn how to come up with new ways to go towards your desired outcome in another way, not through there, and find another path. Yes, this is also in the lesson here, to find another path which is easier. Sometimes the fight is just not worthy. Even if we may think that the motive is right, or that the motive is worthy, it might not be in essence. So this has been extremely revealing for me and healing. I just feel so much better after doing this reading. And now I'm just gonna finish this with a few oracle cards. I literally have more energy right now, and I'm not joking. This is how readings affect me generally. They are so healing and clarifying. Let's choose two of these. And also two of these. Optimism. This flower here smells amazing. I mean, I'm not sure that I've smelled something like this. It's just wow. It's an iris. I have another one here, but this yellow one, woo, it's just, I can't stop smelling it. And I don't have many of those in my garden, just a few. Most of them are purple like the other one. I will close my eyes and just choose one of these. Clear your energy field and connect with your womb. And here we have the child again. And here we have optimism and needs. Let's read this before those others. If you're going to make up stories in your head about people and circumstances, please make them love stories with happy endings. So this is about being optimistic about the world and about people in general. that they will change in their own way, in their own pace, and they will get the help that they need. So this kind of optimism and to stop judging them for their preferences and how they would like to run their lives. Needs. Do you need more time to yourself? Sure. A break from thinking too much? A kind encounter with a friend? Your needs matter, and it's time to honor them. Clear, right? Really clear. And here as well, clear your energy field. So we see these nudges here to take care of our needs, to be optimistic about it, to clear our energy field, our house, and also of objects, not only the air or the energy. Also, you can change the clothes and other stuff in your house. And the objects, remove the objects that no longer serve you or that bring you some type of energy drain. To do this, you can go and feel those objects. How to do this? Well, just look around in your room. Some objects will just stand out, but look around with the intention to find the objects that are draining your energy somehow or influencing your energy in a detrimental way. And just ask your guides, ask your intuition to just pop that into your awareness, pop those objects in your head, and you will see them. Just trust that you will see them. And then go to them and feel them in your hands. Maybe you don't even like how they look. If you don't like how they look, that is an alarm bell, of course. And if you feel them and you can feel the energy draining, just let them go. Get them out of your house and your room or your field. You can also rearrange stuff, furniture or objects, so they become more harmonious with you. Play around with this, with how you arrange your house, and also clear your energy field more often, ground more often, go in nature more often to clear your energy field again. And here we have connect with your womb. So we see this amazing Mother Nature. It's the third time that I have this Mother Nature here, because we also have the Queen of Pentacles. And this Mother Nature needs an update. So you will get nourished too. So you will heal that mother archetype, which is always draining herself, sacrificing herself for the young ones, for the children of the world, for all the other people. That sacrificing nature, which actually drains our creative energy, our sexual energy, and also may close our womb in contracting fears and shame and all other things. Because we may feel shame not being able to help someone, we may feel that we are not women enough or feminine enough. We may feel not beautiful enough and all sorts of things. Even if you are a man, you may feel all of these things. So connecting with our womb is connecting with our creation place, to that place in our body and also in our energetical bodies, in which we create and birth our new self here. So we see this desire to connect again and to birth a new cord. The cord of the baby, the connection. Yes, because also our body may have been disconnected from that cord, not only our spiritual bodies. And we need to reconnect again, and we will do this through healing this mother archetype. Wow. Really beautiful. Okay, so this has been the reading for you. I hope it will be welcomed with joy, with love and tenderness. May you find the way to make it helpful and easy for you to integrate and also to nourish you deeply inside of you, inside all of your bodies, reconnecting you back to your source, to your soul and essence. If you've enjoyed this reading, then let me know in the comments about your experience. The easiest way to support me right now is to like, to comment, to share, and to subscribe, of course. So I invite you to do all of that. If you desire to be notified, don't forget to activate that bell, to click the bell and choose to be notified. You can also find another way to support my channel in the description box. And I also invite you on the Telegram channel to be notified in another way, or to check out my website. All of the links you will find in the description box. Until next time, may you have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. May you feel loved and may you receive the wisdom that you need to reach your dreams.